She might have run away from Lucas, but she'd brought the heartbreak with her. And now, she wasn't just hurting over a certain werewolf. She was hurting because every cell in her body missed Shadow Falls. Okay, so maybe not really Shadow Falls, but she missed the people. Friends who had become as close as family. Holiday, the Fae camp leader, who was like a big sister. Burnett, the stern vampire, the other camp leader who was a friend and sort of a father figure wrapped into one. Her two roommates, Stella and Miranda, who'd felt abandoned by Kylie when she left. And Derek, who'd vowed his love to her, even when he knew she loved Lucas. Oh, God, she missed everyone so much. Amazingly, she was only a few miles away from Shadow Falls, tucked away in a secluded spot in what Texans refer to as the Hill Country, and yet it might as well have been across the world. Sure, she'd spoken to Holiday every day. At first, her grandfather had refused her this right, but her aunt had insisted he see reason. He'd relented, but only if she used a certain phone and kept the conversations very short, so the calls couldn't be traced. And by no means could Kylie tell anyone where she was. Because of the camp's affiliation with the FRU, her grandfather didn't trust anyone at Shadow Falls. And his distrust only added to Kylie's feelings of isolation from everyone she loved. Even her mom, who called to inform her that she was about to fly to England with John, her mom's new boyfriend, whom Kylie wasn't so sweet on. Sure, her granddad allowed her to call her mom back every time she called, so they had spoken twice, but only twice. Kylie's throat knotted with tears, but she refused to cry. She had to be strong. Pull up her big girl panties and be an adult. "Is the pizza to your liking?" Francine, her great-aunt, asked. "Yes, it's great." Kylie watched the two older people slice into their piece of pepperoni pizza as if it were steak. She knew they served it just for her, because after barely touching her meals these last few days, they'd asked about her favorite foods. Feeling obligated, both to eat and to comply with their show of manners, she forced herself to cut a bite of pizza from her slice and slip it into her mouth. She wasn't vampire right now, so she should be able to enjoy food. But nope. Nothing tasted right. Nothing felt right. Not eating pizza with a fork off a fine china plate that looked old and rare enough to be in a museum. Not sitting at this fancy dining table with a formal place setting. And especially not feeling right was the spirit who now moved in closer to her grandfather and held the sword over his head. Kylie stared at the spirit. "Either tell me exactly what you need that doesn't involve murder, or go away." A drop of blood splattered onto her grandfather's forehead. Not that he could feel it or see it, but Kylie could. The spirit performed this show just to get Kylie's attention, and it was working. "Stop it. Leave." Kylie shot a warning glance at the spirit. "You are in a nasty mood, huh?" the ghost said. Yeah, she was, Kylie admitted to herself. A broken heart would do that to you. It pretty much sucked the joy out of life. Or maybe what sucked the most was missing everyone. Not that Kylie's time here had been in vain. She'd discovered a lot about herself, about chameleons, these 13 days. Chameleons had only come into being in the last 100 years. While they considered themselves a species, they were really a blend of all paranormals, individuals who retained the DNA and powers of all the species. Problem was, learning to control that power was a real bitch. Most chameleons didn't even master the feat.